So applying the principles and philosophy of traditional Chinese medicine, which has many years of proven effectiveness in the world for generations and generations, and now Western medicine is starting to prove that what Chinese medicine has been talking about for that long, for thousands of years really, is actually pretty accurate and pretty on point. And so it makes a lot of sense to understand how do you apply the philosophies and the principles into your day-to-day for so many different reasons. But then the top couple of reasons that I could think of is, number one, it makes you feel better. So no matter what you're dealing with, when you start to apply this system of really healthcare into your life, you're just going to start to feel better overall. Number two, it's incredibly convenient. So, the thing that we hear most when we're talking to people when they reach out and they call, they want to work with us, or just in general, is that time. Nobody has time, whether you have a busy job, career, family, lots of friends, just all kinds of obligations. People feel like their time is more and more restricted, especially as we continue to get older. Once you get into your 40s and 50s, you can really start to feel, at least that's how it's been for me. I'm not quite 40 yet, next year, but you do start to feel how time really does go by. It can feel like it goes by very quickly. And so we start to feel that more and more. And then, if you are in some kind of pain or something like that, then you're going to feel even more constricted. So it's convenient. It makes you feel good. And also, bottom line is, it works. It's effective. Just because it's not part of our culture here in the West so much, like, depending on where you are in the country or in the world, you may or may not know anyone who's gone for something like acupuncture or tuina, or taken some herbs from an herbalist, Chinese medical practitioner. But, it's just really not that in our life. It just hasn't been we haven't been indoctrinated into it, right? And so in our culture. So the fact of the matter is, it's still around because it works. It's effective. And even if you've been to an acupuncturist before and you really didn't get the results that you're looking for, that doesn't mean that all of Chinese medicine doesn't work. It just means that your experience for whatever you were going for, something was off kilter, and it does in fact work. It just may have not worked for you under those parameters. Maybe it was the practitioner that you were working for. Maybe they applied modalities or techniques that really you didn't need. You needed something else. Maybe you didn't give it enough time. There are a number of things that play into it, but the fact of the matter is, it is effective. Okay, so it's convenient, it's effective, and it makes you feel good, which is really my number one reason for loving this stuff so much. So how is it easy, okay, to apply into your life? Because obviously Chinese people go to school for years, and it's extremely complex and comprehensive, and you can just take a lifetime to really only scratch the surface of it. But at the end of the day, for all practical reasons, for just normal people living in society, at the core of what we understand in Chinese medicine is that pain, okay, of any kind, really can be orthopedic conditions, back pain, hip pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, on a physical level, orthopedically, or mental pain. So that could be stress, anxiety, tension, overwhelm. That's all considered pain. And pain is due to a result of stagnation, a lack of flow of blood, fluids, and energy through the body. A lack of flow of blood, fluids, and energy through the body will equal pain. Okay, so that's a very core, fundamental idea that I think everyone gets. When you knock your hand into a chair when you're walking by it, you immediately go to rub it. You ever wonder why? It's because hitting your arm created a momentary stagnation of flow, and that created pain. So our instinctual reaction is to rub it to re-establish flow, which over a couple of minutes, a few moments, you're going to start to feel less pain, and then over time, maybe tomorrow you actually have a bruise, meaning now there's a collection of stagnation. Things are getting a little gunked up. And so actually, over the next week or so, that's going to become less and less. You're not going to feel pain. The injury is healed. So we go from this moment of increased stagnation and then less stagnation until eventually you feel better. So when we understand that stagnation equals pain, now we have something to work with, something that's very tangible. Okay, so I'm going to use this. My buddy here, he's new. I haven't given him a name yet, but he's extremely helpful to have around to look at every day, so I can remember all the stuff that's going on inside the body. But we're going to use this example. Now you can see, hopefully you can see, there's a little disc bulge over here in his lower back, his or her lower back, and this is another model of a disc bulge. It's a little bit bigger, easier to see. So I'm going to bring it a little closer. So what that is showing is actually it's this way. This is the way that the vertebrae are set up, and it's so a lot of people have this going on. They say, I have low back pain. I was diagnosed with bulging disc or disc herniation, and so maybe the disc is bulging out into an area where it's not supposed to be, and it's pushing up against the nerve, which creates pain. It could create all kinds of issues, okay? So the reason, what's creating that disc bulge? Well, in this model, I'm applying some pressure on the opposite end, okay? So it's compressing the disc over on this edge, and it is creating a bulge on the other side, aka pain, okay? So this is stagnation, this is congestion on this area. So what do? We go for a massage, we go for a chiropractic adjustment. Those are a couple of approaches which are going to open up the tissues on this side and decompress this area, which is going to essentially suck the bulge back into the disc space. Now, that's one approach. If you go to the doctor, Western allopathic medicine, they'll go in, they say you have a disc bulge, and 9 times out of 10, okay, so let's put some shots in here, okay, so that it numbs the area, kills off that sensory awareness. And that's one approach, okay, so it's going to create maybe some flow, or it's really going to kind of just bypass the feeling of pain. Or they may go in there and they may cut the bulge out, okay, which is going to create flow, and reestablish that flow of blood, fluids, and energy, and reduce the pain. But if this area of compression, aka the cause, now what's causing the compression, those are different questions we need to explore, but ultimately, applying this idea of creating and reestablishing flow is number one, if we can start to improve the quality of our breath. We have a diaphragm that sits inside of here that's supposed to expand as we inhale, and it will come down and it will create a pressure inside the lower belly. Well, when we create a pressure inside the lower belly, it actually is going to alleviate some of the tension on this side. It's going to open things up. So now we have reestablished a flow of movement in the lower part of our body, which is going to do things like promote circulation of blood, fluids, and energy. It's going to reduce inflammation, aka pain, and it's going to help everything move along a little bit better. And so by simply starting to place your awareness in your lower abdomen on a daily basis, so I recommend 5 times a day, set an alarm for yourself in your calendar for 60 seconds. There's nothing that you really have to do other than you can sit down, you can stand up, you can place a hand over your lower belly and underneath your belly button, and you want to place your awareness and your intention deep within your belly, so not on the surface level where your hand is, but inside, and see if you can sense what's going on there. And then just watch the breath come in and observe it go out. And with the intention held deep within the lower belly and with observing the breath, over time, what's going to happen is the diaphragm is going to drop and you're going to feel this area fill. It's not something in these Chinese arts where you want to force the breath. We're not doing that. You want to allow things. So none of that. It's just seeing if you can allow things to expand by placing your awareness down there. And that in and of itself is going to promote flow and circulation, alleviate pain, and it's going to be applying this principle of movement and flow equals less pain and less stagnation. Okay? Now, you can also think of like a kitchen sink. If the kitchen sink over time starts to develop some crust on the inside walls of the pipes, or if some food got down there, now the water is flowing through slower, okay? Because it has to move around this obstruction in the pipe. Okay, everyone seems to understand that. So what happens, you know, maybe you have a plunger and you plunge it and you move that thing, that you dislodge whatever was lodged in there and stuck in there. Or you can get a snake and snake out the pipe and create space so we reestablish that flow. Well, our way of doing that through Chinese medicine and through these principles is by simply placing our awareness in these areas that you feel tension. So let's say you have a disc bulge or pain in your knee or in your hip or in your shoulder. What we want to do is we want to place our awareness in that space. Where can you isolate, truly isolate where you feel pain? And what that means is I want to just connect with it, sense it. Can I feel it going on inside my body? Now with the breath, with this conscious breathing for 60 seconds, 5 times a day, we're going to start to feel that area. And what we want to do is we want to sort of move out. So using the sink analogy, we want to see if we can feel what's going on above the clog and then below the clog. So here I'd say, can I feel what's going up higher up on my back or on my spine and lower down on my spine? And then trying to blend those together through that obstruction, through that whatever tension that we're feeling. And that in and of itself is going to start to almost like snake out the clog or dislodge that clog in the body. And that's going to create flow. Now, this it's a gentle remedy. That's what Chinese medicine is, very gentle. It's natural. It's holistic. And again, it's effective. And so if you do this over and over and over again throughout the course of your day, throughout the course of your week, and then your month, you're going to start to see real transformation take place. And that is quite literally applying the principles of Chinese medicine into your day-to-day. Is there more that you can do? There's a lot more that you can do. But it's good to start there with your breathing because you're already doing it every day, all day. And if you start to do this, do it in this way, which we actually refer to as kidney breathing, and that was for another video. But just know, by simply placing your intention and your awareness in your lower belly, by watching the breath come in, watching it go out, and trying to connect with the areas that maybe you're feeling some pain in, and then going above and below those areas, trying to connect them, you are going to start to create and promote the flow of blood, fluids, and energy, circulation throughout your entire body. And there you go. You're applying Chinese medicine into your day-to-day. So, I just want to, one of our clients that we were working with, and she just told us a story today, so that's what made me trigger this, is, when she first came to us, she couldn't move her neck much when she was driving. So this became her default. If I have to look left, she had to look left, she had to turn her whole body. She just realized, she's been with us now for almost 4 months, and she told Greg today in a meeting that, she just realized the other day, she turned her neck to look to the left or to the right in her car the other day, and she's like, oh my God, I can turn my neck. I didn't have to use my whole body. And so by what she did, there's a lot that she did because she was working with us, but the first thing that she learned, and the thing that she still does every day, is she focuses on her breath. She watches it. She pays attention to the quality, and she has connected with this congestion in her neck that she had for years, and now it's much less congested, there's flow, and she doesn't even have to think about it, which is the ultimate goal, because when she was driving, she was just paying attention, I gotta make a left, so she turned left. She didn't think, oh, let me connect with this, let me watch my breath. No. Through the practice, it starts to become second nature, it starts to become automatic, it's subconscious, and that is ultimately what we're all trying to achieve. So I hope that's helpful for you guys. This stuff, if you apply it, it works. If you know anyone that might benefit from this video, please go ahead and share this, like this. It helps us, helps get this message out to more people, which is our mission. And apply this to your life, whether you have pain or you don't have pain. If you don't have pain, you're in a good position. But listen, by taking these preemptive measures and doing this on a daily basis, you are going to help yourself feel better years and decades in front of you. Thanks so much for listening, and I will talk to you soon.